Alright, so Mardu Aristocrat. So this deck is very close. This deck is very close to the Black-White Aristocrats deck that I've been enjoying in the standard format. But notably, we've got a red... I'm hesitant to call it a splash because we have 16 red sources for a double red card. But we have Rekindling Phoenix and Judith. And both of these cards are really interesting. For starters, I think both of these creatures are just incredibly powerful in this standard format in general. And getting to play both of them in the same shell seems really appealing. These 4/3 resilient flying threats allow you to close out a lot of games that you otherwise wouldn't be able to close out or power through. Judith gives you a much more aggressive slant, which is sweet, and makes Priest of the Forgotten Gods able to kill lots of different things, right? Because normally when your opponents have small creatures in play, they can sacrifice those to Priest. But with Judith in play, you sacrifice 2 creatures and you get to kill their 1 toughness things, then maybe push through and kill their bigger thing. Bedeck Bedazzle is interesting. The Bedeck is basically a removal spell that then can sometimes kill a land on the backside. Revival's a card I've played in the straight black-white build, but we ended up liking a Johnny more. I'm leaving Revival in this deck just because I think we probably have too many 4s for a Johnny to be good in this build. All things else considered, I don't mind most of what this list is doing. Personally, I'm a bigger fan of Duress as opposed to Drill Bit in the sideboard, just because most of the things you want to take are... non-creature spells anyways. It's a little bit more efficient, but we'll play with Drillbit for a little bit and see how it goes. Let's go ahead and dive on into some matches here and see how it goes. Is Red Bull a new sponsor? No, Red Bull's been with us for almost 2 months now. So Red Bull, DX Racer, Tempo Storm, those are all parts of wonderful sponsors that we picked up when I signed on with Tempo Storm at the start of January. All right, Mr. Gooder, let's do it. Ooh, that's a good draw. We're going to attack with both of these first before they know we have a Priest to play out. Interesting. So do I want to play this, or do I want to be resource efficient? Just get back and... I think I just want to get this back and replay it. Yes, Aristocrats refers to any deck that's sacrificing its own creatures, like this one. Judy would be a real good draw here. Hey, Boomer K. Boomer 2K10. Thank you for the 6-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Gosh, can we draw Judy, please? If we rip Judith, we get to just slaughter their board here. Oh no, this is a Conclave Tribunal. Yikes. So much for that. At least Seraph of the Scales is very good here. Seraph might let us power through what they have going on here. I don't know about unbeatable. Unless they have unbreakable formation here, we should be okay. Yep. So this leaves me taking 7 down to 7. This will go away, this will go away, this will go away. Our whole board will go away. We'll be left with 3 tokens. Oh, I'm taking 10. Yeah, there's a Sky Marcher here too. They have this on this. That's probably going to be too much to pound through. I guess this is going to only be left as a 3/3 here. So second Seraph might let us pull this out. They have 5 attackers, none of which are lethal on their own, and I have a lifelink token. Just started playing Gar. Match 1, game 1. If they don't smash here, we're in a very good spot. I think they're obligated to smash here. I guess if I do this, I die, so I can't do that. No, this is going to get protected by the Dauntless Bodyguard, is the issue. This isn't dying. People doing math saying this isn't dying. You need to be aware that the Bodyguard's on this. So we're going to take nothing here. Oh, wow. Wow, that's... Alright. Alright, deal. Yes, please. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, these come into play taps, so they're not very useful here. There's a Priest of the Forgotten Gods under the Tribunal. Yeah, we needed something we could play alongside Mortify this turn. Why didn't they make a token? They should have made a token, right? I think we're too far gone here. Yeah, I needed a spell there. Well, that's close considering how powerful the draw was. The fact that we were on the draw. Would love Lyra. Huh. Don't really have anti-aggro tools here, huh? I guess our main deck seems pretty reasonable. We have a lot of good tools here. Settle the Wreckage is probably fine. I'm gonna trim a couple Rekindling Phoenix just because I'm bringing in so much top end. I don't think Kai is good enough. Playing a 3-mana card to kill their 1-drop seems pretty mediocre. What card that's in my deck right now do we want more than Kaya? Do we want Kaya more than? Maybe she's better than the other two Rekindling Phoenixes just to drag the curve down. Maybe. Still seems tight. Kaya, it's not the entire purpose of Kaya. Kaya is very reasonable against Search for Azcanta decks. She's also very good against Mono Blue. Decks that have more high impact 1-drops. She's good against Drakes with Terramander and Shrinking Enigma Drake. Kaya is very reasonable. She has a reasonable amount of utility. Remember, chat, sideboarding isn't about just putting in all your cards that are good, because a lot of times you're going to have more than 60 cards that are good, but finding your best 60. So, like, maybe Kaya is better than this card, but I'm not certain about that. I mean, I look at games like that and think this matchup's probably fine, because, like, they had one of their best starts possible, and we, like, almost stunted the growth after we flooded out. I think I'm going to pass the turn here. I think I'm supposed to wait and play Tithe. I don't want to sacrifice Judith to the Priest here. I don't want to sacrifice Judith to the Priest, and all of their removal is exile removal, so unless it's Baffling End, like if it's Conclave Tribunal, I can Mortify to get it back. I'm going to feel kind of bad if they have Baffling End here, but outside of Baffling End, I think it's right to just pass this turn. Yep. Priest costs mana to activate on their turn because there's a Tithe Taker in play. So I didn't activate Priest in response to this because there was a Tithe Taker in play. For people wondering why that happened the way it happened. I'd love to draw a red source here. No, I want to use the mana this turn, Steric, to like cast a Mortify or play the Tithe Taker if we draw it. No, the Revenge half basically doesn't need to play Dumping Truck. It's irrelevant. You play it for the front half. Would really like to draw a red source here so we can like jam Rekindling Phoenix and start priesting them down. Interesting. That's real aggressive. So these trade, these trade. Yeah, Judith basically makes your creatures trade up with things that have 2 points more toughness than they have defense in combat, which is absurd for us. They have Deafening Clarion in their deck. What? Good lord. That's not one I'm ever playing around in this matchup. Yikes. I mean, more 4-drops, that's basically like a 4th land, right? I mean, the good news is once we find a 4th land, we're going to win the game very quickly. But we probably need to find it the next turn or two. I elected to Bedeck there as opposed to Mortify. God bless America, my country. 'Tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of the I sing. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Do 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 do. Yep. Did they just miss making a token? I think it's right to trade here. Maybe that's wrong, just to have so much flying power. I'll have 6 flying power here, though. And this is the part where Twitch chat recommends that we add red sources to our deck. Let's see, for those of you that are new. Do 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 do. Beep 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 do 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 do. Did you draw a removal spell? Or did we just leave ourselves dead to the priest activation? Alright, excellent. Excellent. Yeah! Who needs second red sources, chat? Alright, I'm gonna rage cut the Phoenix since we couldn't cast it. Jesus. Jesus, take the wheel. Let's get this castable card in my deck. Nah, I think just like bringing the curve down is reasonable, especially on the draw. So like having another 3 mana play is probably better than having an extra 4 mana play. Busy PYLZ. Thank you for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month and keeping me employed. Phoenix needs a timeout. Can I get a timeout? This is fine. Hey, thanks for the 5 months, Llama Entity. Welcome back. Like Judy, having a 1-drop on 1 is pretty good when we're playing defense, especially Hunted Witness. Yeet! The Alley Eldrazi. Ooh! If we knew that one was on top, would you keep every time? If we knew that one was on top, would you keep every time? Good to see Ollie folks in here too. Are you on tonight, Ellie, this evening? Yeah. Yep, we did leave Settles in. Perfect. I'm running for a hot second, but depending on how long you go, I'll probably have people to send your way this evening. Boop, boop. Red-black aggro, do you think Scorch Mark is an option for blue-red Phoenix? I don't know what that card does. So, how do you feel about just tapped land Bedeck here? It's 2 mana Magma Spray. That doesn't seem very good. I think I like tapped land Bedeck here. And I'm not activating this, I'm not blocking with it, so might as well attack for 1. I might block with this here. If they have another Marshall, I'm in trouble. Marshall. I just can't afford to wait for Judy's trigger here. Get the board as clean as possible. Huh. I think they're setting up to Clarion us. It feels like they're setting up to Clarion, huh? Clarion, my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are gone. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh, Tithe Taker stops our priest. Yikes. Definitely should have played the Clifftop Retreat. That's a very big punt. It's a very big punt. It's probably going to cost us the game. They wouldn't have this token and I'd be up a card. It would be up a card. Don't be like Trump. Gotta pay your taxes, chat. Gotta pay your taxes. The Tithe Taker's coming for you. Down to 9. Yeah, it came up earlier. I could have played the Clifftop Retreat and been ahead there. Like, they wouldn't have this token, and I'd be plus a card right now. And, like, this game is, like, razor-thin margins, right? So, like, being up that little bit's a big deal. I think we're dead here. Definitely lost this one to making mistakes here in this third one. Maybe the Ajani overpowers us, but like maybe our next card's like a Seraph for the scales. We end up powering through. Definitely a possibility. We name her Judith. What's going on, Zanban? Thanks for the 8 months. Welcome back. Rude. I liked my thoughts. I was a fan of those thoughts. Don't take them away. We're a pretty okay board here. Unless they have hit a copy of main deck Cry, we should be kind of set up well. We have Mortify to tag and Azcanta. That was a wonderful draw. Man, this kills any non-basic land. That's busted. 6 mana Stone Rain, look out. It's 6 mana Molten Rain. Perfect. Missed bets with the $30 tip. Thank you for that. Feels bad, man. Whoop. My dashboard could load so I could read it. Just want to say thanks for showing me the light of Pod Mom. Can you put your teamer pod list back in the queue with this donation? That's for standard misfits, I am assuming. I'm assuming it's for standard, so you haven't played teamer pod in modern. I would be happy to. Modern. Are you meaning the 4-color pod list then, misfits? The one we played yesterday? Perfect, will do. Interesting. Thanks, Sauzi. I really appreciate that. Thanks for the 6 months and welcome back. How would you like Seraph of the Scales if the white was lifelink instead? I think the card would be a lot more powerful if it gave lifelink. Yeah, it's strong enough as is, so it's probably fine. Yeah, the growth in the last couple months has been kind of crazy. It's funny, I look back in even in just December, my average viewer count was only about 1,000. Arena, if you notice, chat, so the people commenting and not paying attention, because that's the Twitch chat way of life, commenting and not paying attention. It played the Mortify that's revealed. If you have 2 cards with the same art, it doesn't matter which one you play, it plays the revealed one. Judith, thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. I'm playing out my land here because if they play another disinformation campaign, I want to mortify it in response and not discard my second red source. You got it.
Let's slow this down. Reverse.
Don't let the Teferi live. Repeat after me, chat. Don't let the Teferi live. Kill. I don't care if it puts them to 1. They're gonna stabilize at 1 and kill you because they drew 2 cards that turn. Don't let the Teferi live. Put it in a little box and stuff it in the ground. The Teferi needs to die. Oh, what are we cutting here? I feel like I want a lot of stuff. Drill Bit, Theater, Angrath are all cards that want to come into my deck. Is Mortify a card that I cut? Maybe Mortify is a card that I cut. I have Angrath and Priest as ways to kill creatures. I still need 4 more cuts here. Is Revival the trim? Revival might be the trim. I guess getting my Priest back in this matchup isn't very good. Is Judy worth keeping in this matchup? Maybe she's not. Like, extra random ping shots is not great. I feel like pulling up to be bigger than Cry of the Canarium is probably reasonable. I think I like this. These are probably our most important cards here. We want to lean on these post board. Lands are in this deck. 24. Makes sense. This deck felt okay. It might be 1 land light. Only 24 lands with this many 4-drops is maybe... I think you're not supposed to cut Priest here because the opponent's deck is likely bringing in Thief of Sanity and occasionally Lyra. So you want Priest as a proactive way to be able to kill those cards. Yeah, this build is playing Drill Bit instead of Bedevil, instead of Duress, which I'm not sure if I'm a fan of. I guess it is nice that it can take Lyra and Thief like I was just talking about though, so like, it's got that going for it. So, I agree that game 1, Priest isn't fantastic in this matchup, but post-board when they have creatures, it gets much, much better. Our curve here is quite excellent. So now, if they untap and Kaya's Wrath us, I get to untap and play Rekindling Phoenix, which seems like a fair trade. Maybe I'm just supposed to be conservative there and... Maybe I'm just supposed to be conservative there and hold the Priest back. And like, now if they Teferi, Phoenix pressures Teferi, Angrath pressures their hand. Start by attacking. I'm gonna jam Angrath this turn. It's important that you play a spell that they need to counter on the turn they have 4 mana up, because 4 mana lets them cast Chemist's Insight, so you want to pressure them to make them have the counter spell the turn they would otherwise be casting Chemist's Insight. Because once they Chemist's Insight, they're more likely to have the counter spell than they were before. Interesting. Another removal spell here. Right. The world is a stage, chat. Having Someone had mentioned earlier that the other build was just soft to cry. One of the things we always talk about on the stream is like making changes that are meaningful and fix problems that you have. Like, it is a meaningful change to have Phoenixes in our deck, so Phoenix and Seraph are both better against Cry. So the red splash definitely improves this deck against one of the better hate cards against it. Of course, Fohawk. You value Theater more than Angrath in this matchup? I think so. I'm not sure, though. Theater, they're both kind of easy for them to kill, I guess. I boarded Bedeck out. Which, maybe I shouldn't board Bedeck out, because Bedeck does kill Thief of Sanity, like we were talking about earlier, while also killing Flip Search for Azcanta. Like, I could see that being wrong. Just want to keep playing all of my lands out every turn, because Theater of Horrors can pay 4 mana to deal damage to something. Yep. Love tap, baby love tap, baby love tap, baby love tap, do 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 love tap, do 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 do. Goodbye, friends. Let's see if they want to trade Teferi for Theater, kind of. So they can down tick on Theater, but then Theater kills Teferi.
Right on schedule. I'm getting too old for this.
Yes, you are.
Want no time for a break.
Ooh, that's a good one. Elevator going up.
No fire,
Dunk.
no steel.
No fire, no steel. Man, Theater is really good at leveraging all of your mana.
We need to move quickly.
We need to move quickly. Listen to yourself, Teferi, please. For the love of God, Teferi, listen to the words that you are saying. Read. At least every turn that they're doing this, they're like distracted from my Theater, which is nice. Although it kind of sucks that they keep gaining life. Maybe we'll hit 2 spells on one of these turns and we'll actually pull ahead. That would be nice. I only have 6 lands available. Shocking and Foundry doesn't do anything. Probably the end of it.
Stop that now.
I think we need to hit a double spell turn much sooner than we did here. We had too many theater into land plus a spell off the top or vice versa. Maybe I'm supposed to leave the Bedeck in. I'm gonna leave the Bedecks in for this third game. I like the idea of killing Thief of Sanity and killing, it, like, is a little bit of reach. That also takes, what's it called off the table? We did make it all the way to garbage time. Ooh, this is a solid curve. We played a Vanifier deck in Standard? Yeah, we played a couple different Vanifier decks in Standard. My favorite is definitely Teamer, and you can find that on my website. In my YouTube channel. Right on time, One Drop. Welcome to the party. I'm so close to just having the perfect on the curve. Is Kaya a threat? Yep, Kaya is a card that eventually kills them. I think it's important to leave Priest in not only for curve purposes, but also for killing Lyras and Thief of Sanities. I think people focusing on the Bedevil for the Teferi are focusing on the wrong thing. I know it feels really bad emotionally speaking to lose to Teferi, but I think I'd rather have cards that are proactive and cards that attack rather than cards that are reactive in this matchup. If we're reacting in this matchup, we're probably losing. Need to be aggressive, be aggressive. They definitely boarded Lyra against an aggressive deck. Angrath was an excellent pickup, I agree. Absorb this one. If they untap Kaya's Wrath this here, oh wait, they can't. Yikes. Yikes. Remember when people wanted to cut Priest? Are we dead? I think we might be dead. Why it's important to leave things like Priest in. Although I guess Bedevil would be just as good here. Shame that card cost 4. Not sure we're going to be able to beat our Seraph here. It's such a good curve, too. Tithe Taker's just so good out of their sideboard.
No fire, no steel.
I'm 90% sure I can't play my own Seraph if I take the Tithe Taker. Like 90% sure.
No fire, no steel.
Angrath has punched the clock and gone to work here. For sure. Think they have to trade this? I should have attacked before I played the Seraph out of my hand, so, like, obviously they'd have a different decision to make. Did I miss lethal? No, because they'd be at 9 if I hadn't plus the Angrath. So I could have put them to 1 by down-ticking the Angrath. Maybe I'm supposed to wait. Maybe I'm supposed to wait on attacking there, because I could yoink their Seraph the following turn. Man, look at that. It's kind of powered through. God bless you, Mr. Mentor. God bless you, Mr. Mentor. That's a close game. Angrath ground through the Hostage Taker really nicely. I I really like the axis that Phoenix gives us against Cry. The straight black-white build definitely feels like it has a hard time with Cry, and Phoenix being another resilient threat that plays into our primary deck's game plan, while also being a tool that plays through Cry, feels quite fantastic. This hand needs a white source, but I think it's a reasonable keep. It depends on what's in your deck, Oda. So, like, our deck has Theater of Horrors in it, so playing out every land possible makes a lot of sense because we're gonna have something to do with all that mana. In general, you should never hold more than one land to bluff, and most of the time it's wrong to hold shock lands because they could hurt you. Yeah, Phoenix is a staple in this format for a reason. It's very good, but we haven't played it inside of this shell. So we're talking about Phoenix specifically in the context of what this deck is doing. It's worth killing the Elfir. I think I'd rather just like Bedeck their first play. Now, it is worth noting that this matchup is probably going to be harder for our deck than the straight black-white build, because one of the cards that really helps black-white outgrind this matchup is Reaper of the Wilds, but then at the same time, Phoenix is also good in this matchup, so maybe it's still just fine because of Phoenix. So the reason why I chose to kill the elf on turn 2 there is because, or turn 3, is because when my opponent didn't make a play on turn 2 with their 3 mana, that likely meant that they weren't going to have a play the following turn either. People play Gutterbones over reassembling skeletons for this game that you're seeing right here. Do you see how my opponent's at 10? They're at 10 because I played a 1-drop that has 2 power. That's why people play Gutterbones. Alright, don't Frasca's contempt me, bro. Don't Frasca's contempt me. We can dodge contempt, we can dodge a ball. Alright, that definitely could have gone worse. That definitely could have gone worse. I think I just Mortify and crack them here. They have another Crisis, I'm a little sad. Choked on. If we weren't choked on white mana, we'd be in a real good spot here. If we'd have been able to flood the board out a little bit more. Yeah, this is unfortunate. I don't think either of those cards you just listed, composite characters, solve any problems that this deck has. I'm not interested in adding cards that don't solve problems that we have. I think I prefer this Mardu build to the straight black-white build. I think I like what's going on here. I'm playing a 3-3 out. Smells like a 3-3 Crisis. Gain 1, draw 1. Interesting. We just make a 2-2. Oh, they have land more elves too. I think they've stabilized. I'm not sure we can power through a massive Crisis next turn. The Judith were really good against aggro, but I do kind of miss the Midnight Reapers. I'm gonna concede to an Explore creature here. I think Reassembling Skeleton is significantly worse than Gutterbones. And it just comes up, this comes up every time we play a deck like this. I want you to just look at the curve of this deck and imagine Gutterbones is in this slot. Do you see how much less likely you are to curve out elegantly? Being able to go 1, 2, 3 is very, very valuable in decks like this. There's no Tecatli Honor Guards in this sideboard. That's interesting. I don't know that I like that. I feel like I wish I had Tecatli Honor Guard. Theater and Angrath have been fine. I don't know if I love Judith in this matchup. Mortify's been a little whatever too. Give this a go. Okay, I need some removal. Oh, yeah, but Bedevil's probably better than Mortify. Because there's no enchantments in this matchup, so Bedevil's kind of an upgrade. It's harder to cast, but it's mostly an upgrade. One thing that definitely has me thinking is I do like the additional larger threats this deck has as opposed to more things that die to cry. So I kind of want to try what's his name in this shell. We played oh, I'm blanking on its name. Holy gosh. And Angrath with Priest of Forgotten Gods is kind of absurd, isn't it? It's kind of absurd, isn't it? Huh. That's kind of adorable. They have a removal spell here. It smells like they have a removal spell here. Two great, yeah, that's exactly right. Two great tastes that taste great together. Ugh. I was really hoping to draw a 2-drop there. So, like, if I play Angrath, they just attack Angrath and he dies. I can play Angrath, down tick, Jade Light Ranger dies. I think I'm just supposed to Mortify this turn. Not using all my mana this turn feels really bad. Every time we've played against Sultai with the black-white build, it's pretty much felt like we've ground him out and picked him apart, and this build has not felt that way. The lack of Midnight Reaper feels like a big deal. That's a big part of why the Sultai matchups felt good for the black-white build. I'd really like to draw a 1-drop here. I'd like to draw Gutterbones or a Hunted Witness. Oh, I think I just have to play Angrath as a distraction.
You're just fuel for your crew for my freedom. A fair price.
Hey, look, a distraction. 5 mana, kill your creature, gain 5. Like, that seems fine. Revival's been okay. I really liked a Johnny in the black-white build that we played. How much worse this feels against Sultai, I think makes me prefer the black-white build. Which again, why like the people that were pressuring me into like, which build do you like, which build do you like, which build do you like, I don't, the sample sizes are so small.
The fire's out, but the embers burn on.
Yep. Let's give this one more shot here. Oh, heat going. It's a little cool down in the basement. Yeah, for people talking about hero, again, remember, problem, solution, problem, solution. This deck has what problem, and we're fixing it by adding that card how. What are we cutting? Why are we cutting it? So what are the problems exactly? I have no idea. This deck feels very well-rounded. Especially the black-white build especially feels very well-rounded. I don't know how I feel about this build without Midnight Reaper. But the straight black-white build we played earlier today and that's on my website, I like a lot. Feels like it has a lot of utility in most matches. Savage. Wrecked. Problem doesn't have my pet card. Solution, add my pet card. At least that line is being honest with yourself, right? I am not planning on playing the cute extra formats that exist in Arena, no. If I have a deck queue that's about 50 deep at any given point with a bunch of standard best of 3 decks, so if I'm streaming, you better believe we're playing out of that. Cast a spell! Cast a spell! Want to do this in response to them killing my Tithe Taker, so Tithe Taker's effect is still in place, so they can't, like, dive down or something weird to save their Nicol Bolas. One and 0 are different numbers. Vraska's Contempt's their best card here. It exiles the Phoenix and keeps them alive against my Spirit token. You can find all the decks that are coming up later on the stream in the deck queue on my website. Bedevil is definitely better than Mortify here because they likely don't have that many enchantments. Angrath seems fine. This is not a Judy matchup. I think I just don't want this card against control. Like, the pings aren't super relevant. These drill bits. I don't think I want Kaya against Grixis. Hey, Magic Sausage Cat. Thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. I really hope they take Modern Horizons as an opportunity to introduce wonderful legacy powerful cards into Modern. You know, like Stoneforge Mystic. I always loved playing with Stoneforge Mystic in Legacy. Maybe they can print that card into Modern for the first time with Modern Horizons. I'd really love that. Yikes. So, the red splash is not free. I really love Tithe Taker. This card is sweet. What's the best place to eat near the event hall tomorrow? There's actually a pretty reasonable restaurant in the hotel. This hand's a good example of drill bit probably being worse than duress. If this drill bit had been a duress, I'd have gotten to duress them on one. Who's got two thumbs and is conceding to cry? This guy right here. I think both these decks line up really well against Mono Blue. Priest of the Forgotten Gods is really tough for Mono Blue to interact with, and we have a ton of great flying blockers. And Shriek, you just made my evening. God bless. Listen, Stoneforge Mystic was too strong for my father and my father's father, and it's too strong for me. Y'all remove Stoneforge Mystic from that ban list over my dead body. Alright, they baited the Mortify nicely here. We drew a biggity bomb off the top though. I'm not sure either of the cards they've spoiled so far are going to be particularly impactful in Modern. I'm new, one of this is sarcasm and one of it isn't. So Stoneforge Mystic is a card that's been banned in Modern since the format was conceived initially. Because when Modern first was created as a format, they automatically banned basically every card that was ever banned in Standard. And one of the things that I repeat pretty constantly on this stream is that the power level of Magic cards is contextual to the format that they're being played in. So a lot of these cards, like Stoneforge Mystic, are cards that were too good in Standard, but the power level of Modern is so drastically different than the power level of the Standard formats that these cards were banned in, that it's silly at this point that many of them are still banned in Modern, in my opinion. I think we're dead here. I think we need to go to game 3. I think we're solidly heading towards garbage time. Interesting. All right, so what are we bringing back? We're getting. You have a Seraph in here. I've got a priest. And you have a thief. Okay. They did just bin 2 lands.
My knowledge is endless.
I am so much happier just not talking about Modern a lot of the time, just because there's so many people who are like, but isn't Stoneforge Mystic too... Whenever people tell me Stoneforge Mystic is too powerful, I always like take a step back and go, man, I wonder if they're playing a different Modern format than I am. Because the modern format that I play in, I frequently die on the third turn of the game. So, like, there's no way Stoneforge Mystic is too powerful in the format where I frequently die on the third turn, so I don't know. Call me old-fashioned, but this hand's really good, actually. Yeah, exactly, Niv 2, right? Like, if they do unban it and it is too good, you could just put it back on the ban list. People, I mean, it's a very human reaction, right? Like, people are terrified of change. Poor little Gutterbones. I'm kind of surprised they killed that one. You guys get to, like, redo the thing. I wonder if they have Cry next turn. Just, like, setting me up to use my mana to get cried. Alright, that's sweet. Yeah, there was a build at, I should have played this instead of that. There was a build at the Mythic Championship that was playing Heroic Reinforcements, I believe. It's too much shuffling. Listen, they just printed Vanifier into Modern. I don't want to hear about too much shuffling. I'm gonna lead on Hunted Witness. If they counter this, I'll go land Phoenix. If they let this resolve, I'm just gonna pass. And I'm holding the land for Nicol Bolas. I want them to tap out to interact with the board before I play this Phoenix. I don't want to play this into counter magic. This is the downside though, right? Like they punch me in the dick and just take it out of my hand. Oh, they took the Mortify. Interesting. Yeah, I definitely think part of it's a culture thing. I think there's this really negative culture where people think if Wizards of the Coast has to reban something or change the ban list, they've ultimately failed. When in reality, failing is the first step towards success. Like, the first step towards being good at something is sucking at it. So, like, you know, you gotta crack a few eggs to make an omelet. All the different references. And is Angrath good or is Angrath great? God bless you, little Mentor Planeswalker. Got him. Alright. Alright. I like this archetype a lot. I'm gonna jam at least one more here. I'm gonna grab a snack though, because I'm fat and I'm hungry. I had to hide my packs of trail mix in my closet because Declan kept coming into my office and taking them, and he doesn't actually eat them. He just eats the M&Ms out of them and leaves all the rest of it on the table. This hand doesn't have a white source on one, which is a little bit awkward. Again, the red splash is not free. If this Clifftop Retreat had been a basic plains, I'd have been able to play Hunted Witness on one. It's a good card. I'm gonna leave that one on top. Yeah, they make the game. They could do whatever they want. My blue and black flannel pants are wonderful, okay? They are wonderful. Ostin, thanks for the Prime support. Thanks for shipping that back this way again. I appreciate it. Demir Britches, yep. It's funny, so people who played Magic when Kaladesh was legal, if you played Kaladesh Standard, the easiest way I can explain to you why it's silly beyond belief that Stoneforge Mystic is still banned in Modern is Stoneforge Mystic being banned in Modern now is like if they created Modern today and banned Reflector Mage and Smuggler's Copter because Reflector Mage and Smuggler's Copter were banned in Standard. It'd be like banning Aetherworks Marvel because that card was too good in Standard. And like, obviously, those cards aren't busted in Modern, right? Like, they're legal and they don't do anything. But like, that's what banning Stoneforge Mystic is like. It's like, hey, this was too good in Standard, so we need to ban it here just in case. What on God's green earth are they doing? They have like Cry. Are they playing a Nexus deck maybe? Super, super fringe play. By no means ban-worthy. Now, Green Sun Zenith is different than Stoneforge. Green Sun Zenith was initially legal in Modern and then got banned from Primeval Titan decks abusing it. So that's slightly different. Stoneforge Mystic has never been Modern legal. Yay, Pontiff protecting from exile effects. Gain this. Yeah, and Rogue, the thing to know about your history with Golgari Grave Troll was the last Modern card that they unbanned that they had to reban. And they only had to reban that because of things they printed afterwards. Grave Troll was legal for months before it became a problem. It was only a problem because they printed Cathartic Reunion and Prize Amalgam. And so I think they printed something else too. We did hit some lands. They're stumbling and bumbling. We might be able to slog this out here. Survey says. Oh, Insolent Neonate. That was the other one. Yeah, I like Pontiff a lot. I don't know if 4x is correct. We've been playing 4 in the other build. And 4 might be a touch too many. But a non-zero number of this card is definitely very good. I think this is a matchup where I cut Seraph. I cut one of these 4s. Which of these is better, do we think? I think I want to cut a piece of top end here. Is it the Phoenix? Like, this thing keeps coming back. Seraph kills big creases. I like that line. Seraph kills big creases. Angel's easier to cast. I like that. Angel's easier to cast, and Seraph can attack through big creases. I like that. I think it's pretty marginal either way. I think they're both kind of fine. I just want less 4-drops in my deck. That's the best way to play Magic, Demod. I've been playing some Vanafear Chord in Modern, and I've definitely fallen in love with that archetype. It's a lot of fun. That's the most important thing in any format of Magic, right? Just like having an archetype that you like playing is what keeps you engaged in a format. 10 out of 10. Spells are overrated. Yeah, we'll worry about spells later. Yeah, I think the blue-red tempo deck's just not linear enough. You're better off just, like, playing one of the Phoenix decks because it's similar but more linear. Don't try and be interactive, just run people down. Phoenix on Magic Online is probably the start of a trend of every new standard card that's modern playable is gonna be more expensive there as less people are playing standard and draft on Magic Online and playing more on Arena. Good draw. It's only two. It's only two. I'll update the description. The description also lists Deceiver Exarch, and I cut it. I cut it for Bellringer, so update for color pod description. Need to do that tonight or tomorrow, over the weekend maybe. I guess this resolving actually lets them flip their Azcanta, which probably means I'm dead. I'm just gonna take a look at their hand and then pack it in here. Yay! Magic! Woo! Magic! This hand's actually pretty good. Not bad. Not the worst. This vibe is very, very good, huh? You're just gonna get solidly in underneath them here. Tithe Taker is so busted. Alright, did you hit Cry or are you dead? I left Priest up here because if they hit Cry, I want to sack myself in response so I can draw a card. Also leaves them at 3 instead of 4. Yay! Plat 1! Wonder if we can finally get to Diamond. I'm gonna keep playing this deck until we lose a match. So if we run off the next 3, we'll have a long session with this and get to Diamond. Nah, I don't think so. I think I'd rather just hold it up there. That downgrades my Tithe Taker, which I don't necessarily want to do. This is too slow on the draw. Doesn't do anything. Well, I mean, here we are. Perfect. Perfect. Snap it off. Are you talking about Caleb Shear? Yeah, I beat him. I actually beat him and Paul. I'm blanking on his name. The other Storm player when I top 8'd the Open with Blue Red Delver. That deck just devoured Storm. I also beat him in Legacy at one of the team opens while I was playing Mono Red Sneak Attack. Paul Mueller, yeah, that's the one. Alright, I'm glad we're playing the Sultai matchup again. The Sultai matchup felt like it was much worse with this build compared to the straight black-white one because of the lack of Reaper of the Wild, so I want to play it again to see if we can get a little bit larger sample size to get a better feel. Get better feels, more accurate feels. I want my feelings to be accurate, chat. I'm gonna cash this in as a gain 4 here. Man, this is really aggressive. If you're someone who enjoys playing mid-range decks in Modern, you better pray to God they don't put Counterspell in the format. Counterspell isn't really going to help control decks so much as it's going to take mid-range decks and put them in a little box and stuff them in the ground. Control is actually fine in Modern. So, against combo decks in Modern, cards like Mana Leak and Logic Knot are effectively counterspells. Against mid-range decks that are already bad against control to begin with, because mid-range tends to be bad against control because they have less value cards in them. Against mid-range decks, cards like Mana Leak and Logic Knot become dead draws as the game goes long. Correct? So now, the control decks that are already favored against mid-range get even better against mid-range. I'm a big fan of Jeskai with 4 copies of Terminus, as far as control is concerned in Modern. And I also don't think Counterspell would make control that much better against combo decks. This is our first time we've sacrificed Rekindling Phoenix to Priest in this session. Feels kind of okay, I think. We've got huge, huge tracts of land. This is the part of the game that looks close until they draw Krasis or Vivian, is how this works. This is how Sultai goes against other decks like this that don't have good draw engines in them. So like, we sit here and kind of stare at each other and it feels like things might be close, and they draw Krasis or Vivian and just bury us in a pile of cards. Yeah, we're probably dead from here. This is game one. Oh, I was like, why didn't they just do it? I have Pitiless Pontiff. I can sack the Phoenix in response. That makes sense. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. Maybe they are incredibly unlucky. Your move, Yugi boy. Oh, could have stopped 2 life game with Pontiff. Good call, good catch. If I lose with them at 2, it's my fault. If I lose with them at 2, it is on me. Oh yeah, we're conceding to an explore creature, 10 out of 10. We just need to draw lands for like the next 3 turns. And actually, it's worth noting here that the 2 extra life I gave them actually gives them an extra turn on the clock, right? Like, if they were at 11 right now, they'd be dead on my next turn. And we'd have to fade 1 more draw. But now we have to fade 2 more draws, which is a big deal. So, if they bricked this turn, they'd be dead. This is the Krasis? Is this the Krasis? Give it to me, Daddy. You draw those big naughty cards. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Chat, please chat, read the cards. Chat, read the cards. Read my cards. Read my magic cards. Sacrifice the Hunted Witness for it. Read the Magic the Gathering cards. Maybe they have 4 bricks in a row. Maybe they're gonna take their hand and they're gonna build a wonderful brick house with their other siblings, the pigs. Please be a piggy. Be a piggy and build a brick house. Survey says. Oh no. Oh no. They found the answer, chat. They have found the answer. Darn, those darn spells. Those darn spells. Revival's been a little bit mediocre. Haven't been super impressed with it. I like the Johnny better in straight black-white Aristocrats, but this deck has too many 4s to play a Johnny. Yeah, I don't really like Judith against mid-range or control. She's, like, good in the aggro matchup, though. Honestly, I think Phoenix is a bigger gain from red than Judith. It's a good draw. Really? Really? That is an interesting block. Okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. Can we get a witness next turn? If we can get another witness or a Gutterbones, just be like well on our way. Ooh, buddy. Let's draw a land now. Let's draw a land. One land drop, please. Tilt. Tilt. Oh no. Oh no. These people are great. Buy their stuff. These people also great. Buy their stuff. Back to the Magic Arena. That is not the land I wanted for Christmas. Can I get a land drop? Good golly. Land, come on, come on. I didn't need the land before. We really need it now. Yikes. All right. We said we were going to play till we died. We said we were going to play till we died. Plat 1. It got us to Plat 1. Maybe Jundergrowth can pull us up by the bootstraps the rest of the way. Anywho, Mardu Aristocrats. I liked the Phoenixes, but Judith was kind of underwhelming. I liked Angrath and Theater of Horror out of the board. I don't know if I like this overall more than the straight black-white build. I'm a big fan of having consistent mana and not taking extra damage. There were a couple of games where we kind of got tripped up because we had shock lands or too many buddy lands and stuff like that. And the Sultai matchup without Midnight Reaper is much harder. So I think my takeaway is going to be I prefer the black-white build that we played earlier today overall. But if you're looking to play Rekindling Phoenix, this felt like a reasonable shell for that. Priest of the Forgotten God, still a wonderfully powerful card.